It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing when you let your nuts hang. What it do, everyday people, man? It's your boy PJ. Today we back with another lit video. Back in the confessional. And yes, we stay in lit, big dog, man. Shout out to my everyday people who rock with me every day. And shout out to my player partner, Lucky Wheels of Deals. Your boy keeps it lit, man. Y'all check out my friend, man. Okay. Now let's get into it, man. We got another live interview for y'all guys today. And this one comes back. We're gonna do a throwback story. It ain't really a throwback. It was like a few weeks ago. With this story that sent us all through a bunch of emotions, ups and downs, tragedy, love, cheating, and all that stuff. I'm talking about it was a hot mess. But we gonna get this good backstory from our dear friend. We got IAmTimTerrica.
Hey y'all.
IAmTimTerrica. What was the name of your story? What did you call it?
I think the one that you posted, it was I didn't really name it a story time. I just gave it.
Just
But it started with the security guard from Southern's campus.
yeah,
That's how it kicked
right,
off.
right. So we gonna get into that. So basically, this was her how she got into a car accident. This the story. I don't know where the story because the story started with the security guard. Now we're gonna talk about the security guard right now because it sounds to me like if y'all haven't watched this story, y'all could go back on my channel. I'm actually have it pinned in this video description, and y'all can watch the video of her story time. So the security guard. We started with the security guard. So when I first started watching your video, you was like, you started talking about a security guard. Now the security guard worked at your school
Hmm.
and you was living on campus. And because you worked late at night, you would see the security often. And y'all became acquainted.
Right.
Okay. How'd y'all become acquainted? Like you just stop and talk to him on the way home?
When I first started school at Southern, I went to something called Welcome Week. And that was like before we moved on campus. So during Welcome Week, he was one of the security guards at the guard shack. So on our initial meet, I didn't meet him by myself. My parents were present as well. And what he said was that he would make sure I was good on campus because he just liked my personality. So that was our initial meet. He gave us a card with his number on it. And of course, my parents didn't want it. They was like, well, you the one going to be living in Baton Rouge, so you should have contact with him. I gave him a number and we started to exchange messages back and forth. After our first set of messages, I could tell that this wasn't a okay, I just want to make sure you good since you coming from way up there. It was more so I like what I see and I want to get acquainted. So I was cool with that. He was cool at first. He wasn't.
What? How old was he?
How old was he?
Yeah.
Maybe 36, 37.
Oh Lord. And I'm assuming around 18.
Yeah, I was 18 at the time.
Okay. All right. So, okay, let's continue. We go.
So after we started exchanging text messages or whatever the case may be, like I just considered him a friend. We was acquaintances. We were just talking. It was nothing serious. I got a job at McDonald's right over the hump in Baton Rouge so that I could still attend my classes and not intervene. And because I was working late, they closed at 12 anyway. So if they closed at 12, sometime I would get back a little after 1 from cleaning up closing. So whenever I would get to the guard shack, he would be there. And sometimes like if I would refuse to respond to him or whatever the case may be, he would not allow me to get on campus right away. Like I would literally have to wait at the guard shack for a long time. So
Damn.
we ended up I started smoking once I got on campus. And uh I just know I was sitting in my car smoking one night, and he came to my car, whatever the case may be. I wasn't by myself in the car. It was some more kids that I was going to school with, and they was like, "Why is he doing all that? Like, if he just a security guard, why he doing all that?" Then he see us smoking. He didn't even acknowledge that. He more so worried about why you haven't responded, and that's when I told him like he is getting aggravated. And I just don't want to respond no more, whatever the case may be. So I was done with the situation because, like I said, he wasn't there to look over me or to protect me. It was more so he wanted relations with me. So I just know I got off work one night and I opened my dorm room and this man was in my dorm room. He used his keys from the campus to get inside my dorm room. So that night everything took a turn because it was like all bets are off. Like,
Mm.
yeah, it could have been just cordial at first, but now that you're breaking in my dorm room, I don't feel safe here. So all bets are off. Once I told him how I felt that night, and once I voiced how strongly I felt about why I felt that way, he was like, "Well, I don't really give a fuck. I'm married anyway." And that's how I found out that he was married. So
Yeah.
since he told me that he was married the way that he told me, once he finally did leave, I made sure I made contact with not only his wife, but the school and everybody else. The only people that I didn't really tell were my parents, honestly.
So like when he walked up on you with the other kids, I remember you saying that I don't know, did they ask other witnesses because of
They did.
his behavior,
Mhm.
stuff like that?
They did.
So as a 18-year-old, you didn't you didn't feel that he was being, you know, a predator, or did
If I'm
that?
being honest, like even when I was like all my life I have liked older people. So at 18, like being 24, looking back now, of course I see an issue with it. But at 18, will I lie to you and tell you that I saw an issue with it? No, because honestly, I liked older men. It's just what I liked.
Mm.
But that was my first time being off in the world on my own. So when I was at my parents, no matter what I liked, they had rules and they wasn't going for it. So everything I did was monitored, it was sheltered. Well, for the first time in my life, I was living on my own. I didn't find a problem with it up until it got
Yeah,
weird.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Did you ever, but prior to him coming into your dorm, did you ever think that did you ever feel safe? Like, because you said you kind of felt something, so there had to be something like
Yeah, we
some type
talked
of.
several times and everything was cool. It wasn't until he started breaking in or after I said, okay, I don't want to talk no more. I stopped responding to your text messages and you blowing my phone up all day or telling me what you going to do if I don't respond, stuff like that. It wasn't until those things started to occur that I was side eyeing.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, so I felt like I didn't know those specific details, but I was just like, I think he took advantage of a situation and him being controlling and using you as a young 18-year-old, manipulating you to, kind of do. But then that kind of backfired because you then reached out to his wife.
I did.
And how did she take it?
When I first talked to the lady, the conversation that I had was because after he left my dorm room, he proceeded to send me like pictures, like inappropriate pictures, telling me I was gonna miss him, this, that, and the third, and when nobody else gonna want to talk to me because he was gonna tell all his coworkers this, that, and the third. Mind you, after he left my hotel, I mean, after he left my dorm room that night, I packed up some of my stuff and I went to a hotel room. So you can't just pop up. I didn't
Yeah,
feel comfortable sleeping there. So when I got to the hotel and I checked in or whatever the case may be, I look at my phone, I got 1,000 messages from you, pictures and all. So I went to his Facebook because prior to that, he never like even if you go to his Facebook, he never mentioned a wife. You would have never knew he was married. So when I went to the Facebook, my whole thing was looking through the friends on the page to see if I could find a wife. So once I did find a lady, I sent her the screenshots that he was sending to my phone, like in the moment. And I just told her, I'm like, please get your husband. And when she texts back and she was like, call me. Because I didn't even text her from my page, like not my real page. I texted her from a page that I just had on my phone. And she was like, call me. So when I called her, I FaceTimed her. And it wasn't just her, it was her, her sister, her mom. I guess they all lived in a family house together. I'm not sure what it was, but once I called her, I remember her basically just crying and asking me, how long have it been going on? Did she call him? He had came home, he was there, he was begging me to stop or whatever the case may be. And that's when she was like, whatever you do, don't tell his job, don't tell his job. So I was like, that's exactly what I'm gonna do because that's all they was concerned about. So once I told the people at the school, I told housing first, being that you broke in my house. And I really wasn't concerned with the inappropriate relationship we had at the time, because like I told everybody else, in the beginning it was very much so consensual. I was just more so concerned with the fact that you feel like it's okay for you to use the keys that you got for work for personal use. Like, you don't just come in my dorm room. So once I told the people there at housing, they opened a full investigation with the police and all. After they was done with the investigation, they fired him from the school and they reimbursed me for my housing. And that was the last I ever heard of him.
Mm. So then, okay, so all that had died down, and a lot of other stuff happened in the meantime, in between time.
Hmm.
But when you decided to tell this story, uh, you decided that, oh no, not you decided. Uh, the
His wife,
wife
she added
is,
me on all my social medias. Like every social media I got, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok. She added me on all my social medias, and she was just laughing at stuff, like mainly the stuff in reference to me having a wreck, or mainly in stuff in relation to my scars. So I just wanted her to get her 5 minutes. Like, nobody knew about the situation because I never made it public knowledge up until then.
yeah,
So I just felt like coming back 4 or 5 years later was weird. Like, you
yeah,
still haven't got over it. I don't even live in Baton Rouge anymore, so I did not understand the reason behind her doing that. I wasn't married to her, and I just felt like it was very petty.
yeah. And that's what I was like, because when I was listening to your story, we got that story, and then you went to the most important story, which was the good story. And I
Mm.
was just like, at the end, I was just like, damn, sound like she just, she, nobody even would have, because you could have told the story about your wreck without nobody even know,
Hmm.
because one didn't have to deal with the other. It was just like, so you just got your husband exposed because you want to be petty and you already know he ain't shit.
Facts. And like I said in one of my videos, me personally, I think he did something similar again, and he just got that lady in her feelings all over again. That's the only thing that makes sense logically to me, because, like I said, it's been 4.5 years,
Yeah, yeah. And no contact.
no
Just
contact.
like, well, she got the energy. She got the, what is it?
A few
She got
days
the
after you made
recognition
your
she want.
video, she texted me on Snapchat like she slid up on something of mine. But then because I didn't respond, she texted back and said my bad, and I still have not responded because it just don't make sense.
She need to settle down
Literally,
because it's your husband. I don't understand why women do that. They like come after the man. I mean, after the woman. It's like your man was out here being a predator. Not that you was underage, but he knew what he was doing. Like, you manipulate a woman. You're using your job to kind of manipulate the situation by keeping you where you couldn't get on campus, coming into your dorm, doing all this stuff. Now, I mean, if you put that out there about him, I mean, she ought to feel some way about that. Like, she could have just shut up, and you know your husband a creep.
literally.
That's crazy. Oh yeah, that was a good story, but it was like I thought we was gonna get more into that story,
It
and
really
then
wasn't much left of that story. Like, I didn't drag it out. I didn't. It's not like I wanted him in trouble. I wanted him to leave me alone. So
uh,
after the school fired him, after they reimbursed me for my housing, I was over the situation. I just knew then living on campus was not something that was going to work for me. Up until that point, I didn't know that anybody had access to the room. Like, pretty much anybody that work on campus as an administrator has a key. And once I started seeing him just use the key to get in my room, even if I said I didn't want to talk to you ever again, I just, that's going too far. And like I said, I never lived off on my own without my parents. So
uh,
that to me gave life or death. Like, now you just showing up when you get ready, and it was in the middle of the night. To me, that's weird.
yeah. That show is, yeah. Got his ass fired. Well, and then he got rehired at another police department. Like, that man ain't gonna change. He's still gonna be a predator no matter where you go.
Yep, they helped him get a job in Port Allen.
Yeah. Yeah, so then that brings us to the next story where
Hmm.
you talk about you got into a relationship. Did you get into this relationship while in college?
Hmm.
So this is at the same college? Was the guy that you got, JR, was he in college?
He was grown as well.
So you really like older men. Okay, so let's get into JR because JR put your ass through the ringer.
He really did. He really, really did. When I met JR, I was 18 still, and I want to say it was around October. And I say October simply because I'll never forget the sweater I had on. My mom and them had came to see me at Southern for the first time since I had officially moved in,
Yeah.
and she bought me a sweater, and it was a HBCU sweater. It was a big sweater, and I cut the sweater up, and I had the sweater like that or whatever. So I left off campus to go to the Cinco right there on Scenic, and I just went in there to get some gauze. But when I got out my car, I heard somebody say, "Excuse me," and I turned around, and he was like, "Can I get $1?" And I said to myself, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, he got on all this designer stuff. Why would he need $1? But then I thought, and I was like, I didn't say nothing. I just kept walking in the store. When I got in the store, I was like, you never know. Maybe he left his wallet at home. Like, maybe something happened. So when I got to the register, I stuck my head out the door and I was just like, you can come get whatever you was finna get and I'll pay for it. And when I said that, he came out his pocket with a bunch of money or whatever the case may be, and he just kind of like flashed it. And he was like, I didn't really need no money. I just know that you cute, and I just wanted to know if you was gonna give me $1. So I was like, oh well, it is what it is. I paid for my stuff, and then I went head to my car. Before I got to my car, whatever the case may be, he asked me for my phone number. I told him he could text me on Instagram. That's what he did. He texted me on Instagram, and I want to say like later on that day, he ended up coming on campus to smoke with me. So as we were sitting there smoking, he was just basically telling me his life story. As we were sitting in the car smoking, I remember three things in specific. I remember him telling me that both his parents died from drugs when he was young. I remember him telling me that he slept on park benches because his sister chose men over him. I also remember him telling me that most days he do feel bad about life, but he remembered that he don't got nobody else to pick him up if he not gonna do it. So as we sat there talking, I was just like, dang, at this point where I am in my life right now, I needed a sign. I never had a reason to feel depressed in the sense of how I was, because at that point in my life, I just genuinely was not happy with how life was going for me. So it was like I had been praying that whole day for a sign that everything was gonna work itself out. So when he said that to me, it just made me feel like, okay, this is the sign that I prayed for. So I
Yeah.
kept telling him like, I don't want to take you too serious, but I literally prayed for this today. Like the conversation we had, I prayed for it. So we sitting in the car, he talking or whatever the case may be. It's getting late, mind you. I got class in the morning and I work. So I told him, I was like, it's getting late. We gotta figure something out. I don't know what you finna do, but I got class in the morning. So he basically was like, oh, that's cool. He was like, I enjoyed talking to you. That was that. That turned into us seeing each other every day. Like it was not a day that we didn't see each other. Like of course he worked too. So from 6 to 5 he was at work. And basically from 6 to 8 I either had class or I was working. So we would see each other every day, but thinking about it as an adult, we really didn't spend that much time together out throughout the days. Like we only spent nights together or early mornings. So after meeting, like I said, I was spending the night at his house. So the housing situation, although that they did fix it or rectify, it really didn't matter because after that, I really was just living with JR. When I wasn't in class or at work, I was at JR house.
So
But
this happened. You met JR after the situation with the cop.
I want to say I met JR while that was still going on, honestly. I don't remember the timeline of when everything fell apart with the security guard, but
Yeah.
I do remember the fact that I know me and JR had a conversation about it at his house. So for that reason and that reason alone, I know for a fact I knew both of them during the same time span. I don't remember exactly when it fell apart. I just know we discussed it at his house, and I didn't go to his house while we was on bad terms, so it had to
Yeah.
be during the same time. I know
So
for a fact I met him in October though.
so when so you think your feelings for JR was more of the reason why you didn't want to talk to the security guard anymore? Because seems to me you liked JR more than you liked the security guard. Or maybe the security guard was just weird in the first damn place. But
I won't even. I definitely did like JR more than the security guard, but it was a lot of reasons I didn't like the security guard. It was never supposed to be a romantic or platonic relationship. For
yeah,
one, I'm 6 feet tall. The security guard was every bit of 5'7", 5'8". So it was never supposed to be that.
yeah,
And then now you making it weird by breaking in my dorm room or trying to force me to do something I already told you I'm not gonna do.
yeah.
So that's what it was for me. But I definitely did like JR more. It was more so, but I had already told you it wasn't supposed to be there. When you gave me your number, you said it was supposed to be like a big brother situation. You just was looking over, but it wasn't that.
Yeah. He had other motives. So when you spoke with JR about this, if you can remember, did JR seems like the type to be like, I'll pull up on him.
He was more so mad because, like I said, I'm always honest. Even if I know I did something wrong, I'm gonna be honest. And I remember he was like, "Oh, so you blackmailing the police? I mean, the security guard." I was like, "Oh no, it's not blackmail. This was just my way out." Because I don't know if you listened to the story time full out, but the night that I told his wife or whatever the case may be, I was still receiving text messages from him. He was still telling me how he wasn't gonna leave me alone, X, Y, and Z. The only
Yeah.
reason why he stopped is because I texted him back and I said, "That's fine, because I'm pregnant." I was
Oh
never
yeah,
pregnant, but that's what I
yeah,
told him. But as soon as I told him that, I guess him and his wife decided it'd be better to just give us some money, let her get rid of the baby, whatever the case may be. Mind you, I wasn't pregnant. So once they gave me the money, there was just money in my pocket. So that's kind of how he went away. After they gave me the money or whatever the case may be, he went away. But after the wife texted me the day that I was supposed to get an abortion, just to see if I was still gonna get it, and that's the day that I told her, "Baby, I was never pregnant." So she started asking me for the money back or whatever the case may be, and I just told her,
yeah.
"No, baby, y'all money is took. Like this is what it is. Y'all gave it to me. Y'all not getting it back." So JL was like, so basically you blackmailed the security guard or whatever the case may be. And he was like, because he had came on campus to see me one time, and that security guard would not let him on campus. So he made a big deal about it. He was like, "Oh, that's why you blackmailing the security guard because y'all fucking around, da da da." But it really was not that. It was more so I'm telling him I don't want to talk, and he just won't leave me alone. So once I showed it to him, whatever the case may be, then he was like, "Yeah, that's weird as hell, but nah."
So JR didn't want to pull up and whoop his ass. Oh, he seemed like the type to fight. Figured he might want to whoop his ass.
He do like to fight, but I think he was more so mad at me because he didn't know about everything else that was happening. Like I never told him about the breaking in my dorm room. I never told him about any of that. I only told him once he got mad the night that the man would not let him on campus. So then to him it came across as like, okay, you just trying to fast talk me.
Yeah.
So
So did at any point prior to your story time did he find out about any other stuff? So he hearing this just like with the rest of us.
he hearing this just like everybody else.
Ooh, he didn't call you and try to get back with you, did
Mm-mm.
he? Oh, she lied to us. Okay, okay. But we gonna save that for the end because we gonna find out. We gonna find out if she's back with Jr. Okay, then now see now I find out you 25, right?
I'm 24. I just turned 24 a few
24.
days ago.
Happy birthday. Happy
Thank you.
birthday. So you are a Taurus?
I am.
Yeah. Bullheaded. That's what's wrong with y'all, right? Lord have mercy. You fit the description of a bullheaded. Okay. All right. We gonna find out at the end if she got back with JR.
I didn't.
So
I don't think I'll ever get back with JR. We don't have to ever wait for
he
that.
said, "No, we gonna get it." Okay.
Don't do that now.
Okay. All right. So the end of the situation. I'm sorry if you hear me sniffle. Like I said, I'm
You're okay.
coming over this flu, and anyway, that's a long story. But so JR, y'all get acquainted. Y'all spending a lot of time together, and he's with another. He has another girlfriend or an ex girlfriend that he's with.
This how I figured all this out. We was sitting at the house one day at his house, and I don't really remember what the conversation was before that. I just remember us sitting in the house and us talking, laughing, just having a good time. And I look up and I see kid toys. Once I see the kid toys, I try to look past it, but hell no, you got some kids somewhere because it's kid toys. This show house, let you tell that you live by yourself. You never mentioned having kids. So that's when I asked him or whatever. He was like, oh, my baby mom and my son was here. And I'm like, baby mom and your son was here. But okay, cool. That was that. He said that, then he explained himself on it. The day after, he ended up telling me something like, okay, I don't want to lie to you because you cool. He was like, you ain't been nothing but good to me. I'm not gonna lie to you. He was like, before I met you, I was fucking with this girl or whatever the case may be, and we still be talking because she still be washing my work clothes. And I'm just like, I'm young, but I wasn't born yesterday. You ain't just keeping nobody around because they washing their work clothes. You got a wash machine and dryer. That don't even make sense. So he was like, I promise I'm gonna fix it or whatever the case may be. Just give me to the end of the week. Mind you, this product was like on Wednesday. So I said, bet, just don't hit my phone till you fix it. I didn't hear from him till like Saturday or Sunday. So on Sunday, he texted me. He was like, come to the house. I get to the house or whatever the case may be, and I asked him about the situation with the girl. He basically just say, "Yeah, I handled it," and that was that. Never asked about it again. Fast forward to a few weeks later, he at work. I pulled up on him, and it had to be on a Wednesday because that's the only day I would take him lunch for work, simply because he liked wings off Southern Campus. So I pulled up on him to take him to lunch. When I get to him to get him his lunch, he was like, "I need you to run by the house and get something." Well, I get to the house and I go in the house. I see some girl clothes like in the living room. I don't remember exactly where they were, but I see some girl clothes. So I instantly just go off. I go off. I don't even think I locked the house back up. I think I left the house and went straight back to school. So he ended up having to leave work to go lock his own house up, get his stuff situated. So he was basically just trying to explain himself, whatever. Okay, I was mad for a little while, but my dumb ass really didn't stay mad long. It was like, okay, cool. Now that I know you got all these kids, I'm only 18 at the time. The sex was amazing. I don't have no kids. Once my mind, I just said once I graduate, I could be cool on all this.
Yeah. So that girl was also digmatized by JR.
I understand.
You
I
understand?
I understand. Like I'm a logical person. I can't lie. I understand. Like
Oh my God. Well, she not only she wanted to take him out, but so she drove a car into
yeah.
whatever
So
a
like
car accident,
all
some
I
type of.
remember December came around. That's what I'm saying. All this took place and it wasn't that long apart. December came around. He set me down. He was like, now this really finna hurt your feelings because I took this job in Texas. And he was like, well, I'm moving to Texas for this job, but I will be back. I'm a very secretive person. No matter what I'm going through, I'll keep my problems to myself, but I'll be a friend to you. So a lot of times people don't know what's going on with me because they'll look at me and just assume everything is peaches and cream. So when he said that, it's like my world just fell apart because now he's saying I'm gonna move to Texas for this job. But in my mind, all I'm hearing is, okay, so now where the fuck you gonna stay at night? Because I haven't been staying on campus, but my mom and them don't know that. My mom and them, and they had where they dropped me off at for school, that's where I was. So in my head, I'm like, well, you throwing a rich and everything I got going on. Now I gotta find somewhere to stay and I gotta figure my shit out. So I'm telling him, so who just up and decide to get a job in Texas and not communicate that, knowing everything that we got going on? So of course I was upset, but I played it cool. I didn't trip. That night he told me that I'm not one that's gonna sit around and wait on it to fall apart. I started packing out my stuff and figuring out how it was gonna fit in my car. I had already had it made up in my mind that I wasn't moving back in with my mama or my dad. Like I wasn't going back home. There was off the picture.
Yeah.
So I arranged my trunk to where everything that I owned would fit in my trunk. I put the stuff in my trunk and then I fixed the backpack with my toothbrush, soap, towel, stuff like that. Cause I had friends in Baton Rouge from school. And in my mind, I was like, fuck it. If I have to, I'll just sleep in my car, take a bath every day at Kai house so that I can still go to work. That's what I did. When I left his house with an attitude that night, I went to a park and I slept there. The next morning, I got up, I called Kai. Kai ended up letting me take a bath by his spot, but he was questionable. He was like, fuck you need to take a bath here for? I just didn't really want to explain myself. Then the next day, I ended up having a flat. So because I had a flat and my spare was in the trunk, when Kai got ready to change my flat, he realized all my stuff was in the trunk. And
Yeah.
so he was like, T, you sleeping in this car? And I was like, yeah, but not for long though. Mind you, the money that I got from the man and his wife, I never spent that money. Like I never blew that money. I still knew I had to figure out where I was gonna be staying once December came around anyway, because you know, December the kids go back home when school get out anyway. I wasn't
Mhm.
going. So around that time I was already finished start looking for an apartment, but Kyle was like, you're not sleeping in this car tonight. So he fixed my flat before I went back to work. He put my spare on. But he was like, when you get off, meet me, and he sent me your address. When I got off, I texted him and I met him at the address. Mind you, I had never been there before. It was his grandma's house. I'm thinking, okay, if he want me to stay here, he must stay here. Mind you, me and Kyle, we was good friends.
Hey,
Um,
shout
he's
out to Kai
he a
for
real
being one
nigga.
of the greatest friends in the world. And if I was Kai, I'd put belt to ass to you every day.
And you think he didn't? Like Kai, to me, even today, because me and Kyle are still friends. Kai remind me of my mama and my daddy. Like he don't sugarcoat it when I'm wrong. He tell me he don't uphold me in my bullshit. Like that's really my friend.
Yeah,
So when
yeah,
I pulled up at the address, it was his grandma's house, and she was like super sweet. Of course, I was crying because I'm not one. I don't like people in my business, and I didn't want nobody to know what I was going through. Not even my parents. So when I got there, mind you, it's his grandma, so she's an older lady, and she's in the back room. I'm talking about some. You could tell nobody has slept in this room in ages. She in the back room. She's getting this room set up. She even put a lock and a key on the door so that I would feel comfortable. She said, "Baby, I don't know what you're going through, but when you hear you at home," she was like, "You don't have to worry about nothing." When I would get paid, I would try to give this lady stuff. She would not take it, even if she would take it right then, or like if I would leave it on the counter. When I got back, it was in the room. Like I love Mama and Kai down. I don't think they'll ever disappear from this story of mine. So
yeah, yeah,
yeah, after he told me he was moving to Texas, I kind of was over it. Like, which I just told him, like, it was always something with you. Like, every time I think we good, you come out of the blue with something. You just, I can't depend on you.
yeah.
So I thought it was gonna be over then. When I moved in with Kai Grandma, I didn't talk to JR for like a good month and a half. Then one day out of the blue, he called my phone and he was like, I just called you to tell you that I'm always love you and I think about you every day, just small talk bullshit, really. So after he said that, I ain't gonna lie, it made me happy. But after he said that, I didn't hear from him for like up until March. So in March, he called me. He
So
like,
like 3 months to pass.
mm-hmm. He called me in March. He was like, where you at? And I was like, I'm in my mom's house. I had just drove from Baton Rouge to my mom's for the weekend because, like I said, they thought I was still on campus. So I'm gonna make it look good. If you think I'm still on campus, I'm gonna still come home like I normally would. That's what I did. I got up, I went up there. When I went up there this time, I finally told them that I was staying with Kyle Grandma. So they knew then. But when I got back, when I got back to my mama's, I remember getting a phone call from JR. He was just like, where you at? I told him where I was. He was like, I had a bad car accident. I'm in a hospital in Baton Rouge. And he said, I'm at Arlene of the Lake. Here go my dumb ass. I had just got to my mama's. I'm talking about I put everything of mine back in my car and I was back on the road. 3, 4 hour drive. I got to Baton Rouge and I was like, talking to him, trying to figure out which floor you on, like shit like that. And he was like, oh, well, COVID's so bad, they not going to let you come in anyway, so you just got to wait until I get out the hospital. So I went back to Momo's house. I knew for a fact I could stay at Momo's for a few days. So I went to Momo's, stayed there for like maybe 3, 4 days. When he finally got out the hospital, he didn't go back to his house. He got a motel. Now, mind you, at the time, I don't know how you ended up in the rig. You just told me you had a bad rig and was in the hospital. At this point, I don't know why you there or what happened, none of that. So The day that he got out the hospital, he called me. He said, I'm at the Motel 6 on Segan Lane. So me, knowing that he got a house, I'm wondering, why you at a motel on Segan Lane? He like, come here and I explain everything. So I get up, I go there. When I get there, he's literally sitting in a wheelchair. So I lean over to try to hug him. I haven't seen you in forever and you in a wheelchair. It only makes sense for me to hug you versus trying to make you get up. He instantly get mad. He flashing. Oh, I'm not handicapped. I'm not a baby. You don't have to. Okay, something traumatic happened. You and your feelings. I'm trying not to be so defensive, whatever. So I didn't say nothing. He got up. He gave me a hug. That was that. But I knew from then it was gonna be here. After he did that, I want to know what happened. So I asked, and that's when he explained to me. He was like, I was dealing with this girl when I was in Texas. And I'm like, okay, here goes some more bullshit. And then he was like, when I moved back up here, she moved in with me. He was like, whatever day the wreck happened, I want to say it was May 13th or March 13th, something like that. It had to be March 13th because we had our wreck May 8th. So he was just like, I told her to get her stuff out of my house, and after I told her that, she told me that if she'll run this car off the road, and I told her I don't give a fuck, do it, and she did it. Unfortunately, that lady lost her life, so nobody will never know what happened in that car. It's basically his word. That's it. That's all. Because she died. We do know she was driving, but as far as what actually took place, I don't think we'll ever know. Um,
Do you think anything suspicious happened?
Again, like I said, the world may never know. Me personally, I
I
don't
mean,
see myself.
Knowing Jr., do you think he would do some
I
crazy stuff?
I don't, but I don't think he would. But I didn't think he'll leave me either. So it's hard to say what a person won't do. Like I honestly don't know. I want to say he a good person, but you can't be a good person and do some of the stuff that I know he's done to me. So
Yeah.
I just don't know. Um, I just know how hurt he was. But like I said, it don't really matter. I just when I asked him that and he explained it, I'll never forget hearing and seeing him cry like that. I never really seen a grown man cry like that until then. So I was more so trying to be a friend to him. Of course, hearing that and having feelings for him like I had for him, it was hurtful to even hear. So you to move somebody else in the same house we was living in, and you been back in Baton Rouge all this time, and I didn't even know about it. It was a lot for me to process. So while trying to manage my own feelings and keep a smile on my face, I really wasn't. I was paying him some attention, but I
Mm.
was more so focusing on not being there as a spouse, but as a friend. He just was venting, and like I said, he was in shambles at the time, but his body was broke up too. Like his legs were in braces, his arms, it was a mess. So,
Well,
um,
let me ask you this. So when you were when when you were first messing with him, you was messing with him because the sex was great. At this point, he's in a wheelchair. His body's not functioning well, right?
shit, who told you that?
So he was still giving it to
We was
you.
still fucking facts, wheelchair and all.
So, so needless to say, the dickmatizing was still in full effect. So, all right, I need to get to the base of y'all relationship because I know one is sex, two is sex. Where the value? Did you see any value, any love? Like what between you and JR's relationship? Because between this in this whole story, like throughout the story, because there's a thousand parts to this story, but the main thing I see is what I heard was how much you loved him and you wasn't willing to give him up no matter how toxic the situation was, because not only just the car accident, it was just other things that was happening within
I
y'all's
do love him.
relationship.
Like still to this day, I love him. I can't fathom why. Like I've even prayed and asked God to remove it. Like I love them, and I think it's because I see parts of myself in them. Like I don't want to be with them. I realize that we aren't for each other. Like we aren't good for each other. Like it's too much damage been done. But at the end of the day, I still love him. And it's sad to say, like, if something traumatic was to happen in his life tomorrow and he would need me to be there, I would willingly go. Simply because people don't understand that your adolescent life plays the biggest role when it comes to your development. The person he is, fucked up and all, his childhood played a part in it. And I try not to come across as making excuses for him, but I know in my adult life, people often question, why does she make some of the decisions she made? Well, nobody know how I was made to feel in my adolescent life. No matter what your point was to do whatever you did or say whatever you said, perspective is key to perseverance. You could say anything in the world and you can mean something totally different. But as a child, I heard a lot of things about myself that shaped my perspective as a woman. So even though I understand now as an adult, maybe they didn't mean this. That's still how I perceived it as a child. And from that point forward, that's how my development went on. That's just what I perceived and that's how I grew from it. JR's fucked up. He's fucked up from his adolescent life, and I feel sorry for him.
So when you saw him in vulnerable states, as far as that, oh, but actually, I get it. When you saw him in a wreck, you loved him before he went to Texas. Then
Mhm.
he come back in a wreck. You're in a vulnerable state. Your initial feeling is nurturing. I need to love this man back to health. I need to make sure he all right. Am I getting that right?
Mhm.
So it was you still loved him. It just so whatever he did or that shit didn't matter.
It didn't matter.
Yeah. So all right. So we get along. Y'all, you get him. Y'all. He gets back to health. Y'all back rocking on and off, and the situation with y'all's car accident.
May 8th, he was still at the motel on Segan, and I had got an apartment by this time. Like, I would still work here and there, but like I said, I had got an apartment not far from where the motel was, simply so that I could be of assistance to him. Um, After I got the apartment, it was another student apartment, so I really didn't have to focus on merch furniture because the furniture was already there. I just had to buy the stuff to go inside the house. So, in the process of doing all that, I got a text from him one day, and it was like, "Can you bring a girl so we can smoke?" Because I was in the process of trying to set up an apartment, I didn't really see the text. So he called me, and when he called me, he had an attitude, and he was just talking crazy. He was like, "I text you hours ago and told you to bring a cigar so we could smoke, and you still never responded." And I'm just like, "Hold on, hold on, hold on. I'm doing you a favor. I'm not obligated." So there was an argument that we had. I hate for a person to feel entitled to me in my time. Like I still got to
Yeah.
show up for myself too. So we had a big argument, but when I was done doing what I was doing, I went and got the cigar so that we can go smoke. This is May 8th. This is the day that we actually had the wreck. I pull up at the motel. Mind you, I already got an attitude because of how you call my phone. Like the way he called my phone, it was almost as if I had no other choice but to do it. So when I got there, I didn't say anything. I didn't open my mouth at all. I got out, I went in and I gave him the cigar. As he was rolling, I just sit on the bed because I really had an attitude and I was trying to find my words. After he was done rolling, when I pulled up, I already had seen his car in the parking lot, so I knew he had got his car back. I seen it. Um,
Was he in
After
a
he rolled
Crown
up,
Vic at this time also?
no, it wasn't a Crown Vic. It was a Mustang, a red Mustang.
That make
Um,
even more sense.
yeah. So after I walked outside, and once I walked outside, he was done rolling, and I walked outside. When I walked outside, I'm thinking we finna go sit in my car and smoke because this is what we've been doing. But like I said, his car, he had just got his car back, and I'm not a hater. You know how it is when you first get something and you be happy.
Yeah.
So he went to his car and he sat in the driver's seat and I sat on the passenger seat. Never in a million years would I had imagined that he would want to ride and smoke simply because of his situation, and on top of his situation, who the fuck want to ride around Ben Ridge and smoke in a car? I just didn't expect him to want to pull off. But it was JR, so I wasn't scared. I didn't panic or nothing. Like, I was in the car willingly. After he pulled off from the motel,
Was
mind
it
you,
a was it a GT Mustang?
I don't know much about cars. I know
Oh,
it was a
okay.
two-door Mustang, I can tell you that.
I mean, all Mustangs are two door, but
Oh, why you laughing? See?
oh, because all right, so because he was speeding
Uh,
and he lost control. Now I've owned Mustangs. I've owned several of them, and my thing was the V8s are hard to control. One, that rear wheel drive, positive traction. You could you fishtail, you go fast. Sometimes if you got a real good one, you when it switched to gears, even second, third, or fourth gear, you could kind of fishtail and go crazy. So that's why I'm kind of trying to get the details of the car. I'm a car guy
I
first
really
and
don't
foremost.
know what kind of car. I know it was an older model Mustang. I remember us getting on the interstate, and I know the starting point was Segan Lane. At this point, the blunt is in rotation, so Jr. driving. I'm not driving, and like I
Yeah,
said, I wasn't scared. So I let my seat back. Like, the seat was laid back. Like, I was laying down basically.
yeah, yeah.
So I just felt him picking up rapid speed. So I set up to kind of like try to see what was going on. And when I set up, I saw another Mustang to the left of him.
Oh, I remember you
It
saying,
was
yeah,
like
yeah,
an
yeah.
empty lane, but the lane wasn't really empty. Like, it was empty as far as being right beside him, but kind of behind him, but on side him, it was a red Ford Fusion. I'll never forget it. Um, I saw it, and then I saw a big truck directly in front of us, a big truck with two beds on the back. So um after I seen it, I looked over and it was like a entrance ramp to get on the interstate. And in my mind, because I drive fast, so in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, he got it. Because even if I'm at the rate of speed he was going, he could have took that entrance ramp and still had time to get over in front of that big truck. But when I looked back, I could tell that he was gonna try to get over in front of that red Ford Fusion, and he was not gonna make it. So I guess when he started trying to get over, he realized he wasn't gonna make it. So he panicked and he hit the brake, which caused him to hit the back of the big truck. But he didn't really hit it. He just like bumped it. And after he bumped it, we just spiraled out of control. I screamed, I love you. He said, I love you back. And in my mind, I accepted the fact that we was gonna die. Cause from the way I was looking, I thought we was under the big truck. I never saw anything else on that scene that night after that. After
God
screaming I
damn.
love you, I didn't see anything else. I remember when the car was flipping, turning, whatever it was doing, I remember feeling like my face was sliding. So I remember telling myself in my head, just stop fighting it. In a minute, it'll be over. Once the car
Woo.
finally stopped, I wasn't in much pain, but I was scared. Like, I was very frantic. And so I finally heard his voice and he was like, Tim Terrica, help me find a blunt before the police come. And I was like, I can't help you because I can't see. He was like, what you mean you can't see? And I was like, I don't know, but I can't see. So I sit there and I waited and waited. And I thought maybe, once he find a blunt, he'll try to figure out why I can't see or help me get out the car. But that never happened. That never happened. So I convinced myself. I was like, you gotta get out of this car. I don't know the condition of the car. I just know I can't see. I know we've had a wreck. So
It's okay. Take your time.
in my mind, I'm thinking, what if the car is on fire? I just wanted to get out of the car. I know my shoes weren't on my feet. I could not feel around to find my phone. I didn't have my keys. I had none of the stuff that I got in the car with. So I tried to sit up, but like I told you earlier, I had lit my seat all the way back. So because the seat was lit so far back, every time that I would try to sit up, I would get lightheaded or dizzy and I would just fall back. So on like the third try, I don't know why, but I just saw my sister at her debutante ball. Mind you, at the time, my sister was probably 8 or 9. So I finally got up And when I went to open the door, I heard a lady. She said, "My name is Amy. I'm a paramedic from Texas. I saw what happened and I just want to help you." So she helped me out of the car. I think we were sitting in grass on side the interstate. I'm not really sure. I just remember her putting a lot of pressure on my face. And I remember asking her or telling her that it hurt. And she was like, "Baby, I know it might hurt, but I'm trying to stop the bleeding." So I asked her, "What are you stopping the bleeding with?" And she was like, "A shirt." In the midst of all this happening, I asked this lady, "Is the shirt clean?" She said, "Baby, it's the shirt off my back. It's as clean as me." She was like, "With the amount of blood that you're bleeding or that you're losing, I have to stop the bleeding or you won't make it." So
Boy, gotta put some people in some places
he
for
do.
no damn reason.
He really do. Um,
So
I
have
remember
have that lady? Do you know if that lady seen this?
I've looked for this lady for years and years and years, and seems to me nobody ever met this lady but me and the first responder. I thought I was crazy up until one of my mediations, and the firefighters were they had to come in to do my mediation. And when he gave his testimony, he did mention a lady stopping. And I mean, it just brought me so much closure because for a long time I felt crazy. None of the police remember this lady. Nobody else remember Amy. I've searched for her on the internet for years, and I never was able to get anything out of it. But once before I finalized my lawsuit, I definitely did have to go through mediation, and the testimonies from the firefighters, it gave me closure. And once the actual paramedics got there, I just remember them asking me 1,000 questions like, "What's your name? Where you from? Where are you? What's today's date?" All questions, of course, I was able to answer. But in attempts to keep me woke, I guess they kept asking me the same thing, so I was getting very aggravated. And I remember telling them like, "Just stop asking me that because you done asked me that 1,000 times. I've clearly told you that already." I remember sitting on the scene forever. Like it just felt like we was never gonna leave. And before she did get ready to go, I remember her asking him. I remember hearing his voice and hearing her say, "Are you going with her?" And his exact words were, "No," but here go her phone and her shoes. "I'ma find me a ride." And right then and there, my heart broke because I would have never did that. Never.
I couldn't even imagine because, like, as I listened to your story, and I do a lot of these stories, right?
Mhm.
Even yesterday, I did a story about a man who proposed to a woman, and the next day he goes sleep with another woman, and I'll just be like, how the fuck can you do that? And this in this situation, I think that you with this person day to day. You come when I needed you at my lowest, when I got into a car accident, I'm in a wheelchair. You came to me, nothing, open arms, ready to love me. Didn't ask no questions. Just maybe you did, but pretty much no questions asked. We together, and then y'all in a situation, and he says that he not gonna leave with you. That part broke my heart right there.
It broke mine too. And then he would text me like when I signed myself out of the hospital because he said after my mom I talked like when I finally woke up, I woke up on Sunday, which was May 10th, and it was Mother's Day. So when I woke up, I talked to my parents, and of course they were in tears. They were crying. You could hear them scream. I never heard them cry like that. So the first thing I remember them telling me was, I just want you to know you lost one of your eyes, but we're gonna be here with you this whole ride." So at first I thought it was a joke. I'm like, "No, I didn't." And I thought that I opened my eye and looked out of it. So I was like, "Y'all just playing." And I asked them had they talked to JR, and they was like, "Yeah, we talked to him." And then my daddy got on the phone and he was like, "Yeah, the boy said y'all was going to smoke." Like I said, I've always been one to own what I do. So Why would you tell them we was going to smoke when they should know me enough to know if I smoke, I don't have to go anywhere to get high. If I want to get high, I'm gonna get high. So don't lie and tell them we was going to smoke knowing we was already smoking. So even in the hospital, that pissed me off because now you lying trying to cover your tail. I tell my dad and my mom, I'm like, three-way him in. And I asked him, I was like, why would you lie to them? Why would you tell them we was going to smoke? Because still to this day, I don't know where we was going. So I said, why would you lie to them and tell them we was going to smoke? He said, oh, because I didn't know what you be telling them. First of all, you still told them we was going to smoke, even if you didn't know that they knew I was smoking. So why lie?
Yeah.
Um, but he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. He said I just told him that like I was trying to think fast, whatever the case may be." And then he was like, "When you get out of the hospital, I'm gonna be there for you, and I'm gonna do everything for you." So, being my dumb ass self,
This is where I got. That's where this is where I was worried about you, sister.
I got them in there. And I was like, I mean, I already lost my eye. My face is already in shambles. It was really nothing else that they could do for me other than try to make me see a bunch of different psych doctors, which was not something that I was interested in.
Yeah.
So I went ahead and I signed myself out of the hospital. You had like three, four different nurses, including the doctor, come in and let me know, hey, we don't advise you to leave, but we can't make you stay.
Yeah.
So I signed the papers to leave the hospital. Mind you, my mom and my daddy stayed in Shreveport even at the time. So from Baton Rouge, just a 3.5, 4 hour drive. So I was ready to go right then. So I called Kai. I had, although my phone was broken up, I still could tell Siri, call Kai or the nurse Cody. One of my nurses' name was Cody, and whenever Cody was on shift, this just who was in the room. So I had Cody call Kai. Kai, his papa came and got me from the hospital, and they took me to my house before.
Kai was Kai the one that sent him the pitch, sent Jr. the picture.
Yeah, before we left the hospital, when he got to the hospital, since Jr. told me on the phone, he was like, "When you get out of the hospital, I'm coming over there and I'm gonna do everything for you." Even then, I was trying to think everything through completely. So I said, I don't want him to get to my apartment, walk in, and this be news to him, and that be his
Yeah.
first time seeing it. So I thought it'd be, mind you, I never saw it at this time. So I tell Kai, I'm like, my phone is broken to the point where it keep cutting on and off, and the screen is shattered. You can't text from my phone; it's broken. So I was like, Kai, send JR this picture so he know what to expect. Kai sent the picture. I left with Kai and his papa. I got home. Now later on in the story, Jr. did tell me when Kai sent that picture, he was like, to me, it felt like he was saying, "Look at what you did to my sister," or "Look
Mhm.
at what you did to her," or "This is how she looked because of you." When in reality, it wasn't even Kai texting; it was me. That's why I say perspective is key. Um,
But okay, so do you do you think he was actually thinking that, or do you think that's just another excuse? Looking
I
back at it,
rather he, no matter why it was said it was an excuse. When you love somebody for real, I don't think none of that would matter. Like it just wouldn't matter. Like if the shoe was reversed, and I'm only 24 now, but I was 19 then, you couldn't have paid me to leave him, and he a grown ass man.
yeah,
He did it. Like in the beginning, he would just say, "I couldn't see you like that. It made me feel." No, regardless of how it made you feel, had I stayed at home to unpack my stuff like I should have, I would still have both my eyes. I showed up for you, and because I showed up for you, I lost.
exactly. That's what I said because I was like, the story about. I mean, the times that he let you down, even throughout the story, like just different parts. There's different levels of letting you down. Like every time it wasn't just a extreme, but this time was the most extreme.
Mhm.
Was after the one leaving you at the accident or letting you leave by yourself, then not showing up for you after you got out. I thought that was two slaps in the face for absolutely no reason. When first of all, you need to have that conversation. I think that was very cowardly, or not cowardly as scared, but like just not manning up to just facing whatever, like just and not even facing whatever, it's facing you, like
Mm-hmm.
you. At the end of the day, a person who showed him nothing but love, as we hear this whole love story, because this is one of the craziest love stories I've heard in a while, and I was very upset with Jr. And I could not get over the fact that the way he just did you in these two instances, and not only that is that you continue to love him,
My
and
heart is
we
definitely my
let's
biggest flaw. I don't know what's
let's
wrong with it, but it just
so now we get into more into where you loved it. Like after this, we know how he let you down, but then you continue to now you in a transition of okay, I'm in this injury, I'm about to go through these physical therapy and all this stuff, but you got Jr. on your mind, and if I can recall, did you start dating somebody else, and then they sister was Jr's baby mama type?
all I remember is after a while I was like, you know what? I'm tired of playing with JR. JR would still pop up and come see me or try to do little stuff for me. Like when my lease was up at the apartment that I got right before we had the rig. When the lease was up there, I went and got another apartment that wasn't a student apartment because I wasn't in school no more. It didn't make sense for me to be living in student housing. So I went and got an apartment and he had came and hung the TVs on the wall and ran the cables downside the wall and stapled them. So he just felt like
So
that
this
was
time
so.
he's coming back around
Yeah, well,
after
he's
he
trying to anyway. He tried like
okay.
he pop in and out like he really was just doing it just to validate himself to make himself feel as if the stuff he had did wasn't so bad.
Yeah.
So
Were
he
you
came.
did you feel any type of way? I mean, other than the love that you had for him, like, did you be like, nigga, you owe me, or like,
Yeah, like at first, like I tell my mom all the time, when I first woke up, I felt like he owed me with his life. Like you took something from me that nobody can give me back. But on top of that, like you still was taken from me. Like you still needed me. And whenever you needed me, I was still showing up for you despite needing somebody myself and having nobody. I don't talk to anybody. Nobody can tell you how I feel. Why? Because I keep my feelings to myself. And I think it was just more so hurtful because it was easy to fake it before the wreck. It's easy for me to say, okay, well, I'm okay. And it go unnoticed. But I was 19 and that was a lot. So for everybody around me outside of Kai
mhm.
to be around and just be like, okay, well, she okay, she appears to be okay. No, bitch, that hurts. Like I went through a lot and I went through it by myself, but I don't talk to people about how I feel, nobody at all. So um it was definitely a slap in the face and I lost a lot of respect for JR because up until then it was like I made excuses for you based off your adolescent life. And with those excuses I made on my own, I gave you grace. Why? Because I don't talk to nobody. When I see people going through stuff that I've went through or felt similarly, and I just be like, you know what, I'm not by myself. So I just had grace for him simply because of seeing myself in him. I don't know, but nah, with Jr. it's just like I don't know why I still love JR. I don't think I never stop loving JR, but I don't have respect for JR. JR is exactly who he's gonna be. I mean, at this point, he's working on 40. Like these things
Yeah,
can't be taught.
yeah. So, yeah, that's. I'm sorry. If you need a break,
I'm okay.
you okay? Okay. All right. All right. So let's now. So now, accident happened. You met. You met somebody else. We don't have to get too deep into all that because I guess that was some funny style stuff that the
No, we can
sister.
because it was really weird as hell. I just remember I started talking to the boy, and we had been talking for like 3, 4 months at this point, or whatever the case may be. And he invited me to come to his brother house for a cookout they was having. I go to his brother house. I meet everybody. Everybody is cool. We chilling. So me and the brother girlfriend and her cousin, while the men was in the backyard on the grill or whatever, we decided to go get a daiquiri. So we go get a daiquiri. We in the South, mind you. It was already weird to me that the brother girlfriend cousin stayed right across the street from JR's sister. So I'm already when I pull up, yeah, I already made me start thinking about JR because we're in front of his sister house. So I remember her asking me, "So what happened?" And I was like, "What you mean what happened?" And she was like, you told me you had a wreck, but you never told me what happened." And I was like, when I said his name, they looked at each other. So I was like, "Why y'all look at each other? Y'all must know him." And that's when the cousin Rachel, that's what she was like, "Yeah, we know him." And I was just like, "Oh, okay." So I finished telling them how I had the wreck or whatever the case may be, and everything I just told you basically. So the next day, I'm back at her house, the girl and the boy brother house. We back over there, and we sitting in the living room. It's me, the boy I was talking to, his brother, and his girlfriend, which is Paris, and they kids. I just remember looking down at my phone. Mind you, the boy that I was talking to, I already knew I was still in love with JR. I'm not one to lie. So when I started talking to him, I already told him, I ain't gonna tell you I won't grow to love you, but as of now, I'm stuck on JR. So that's what it was.
So did he know Did he know Jr.?
Mm-mm. He didn't.
Did
He
he?
still don't.
But did he know? I mean, he know his name?
No, everybody found out in their living room because this is how it went. I was sitting on the couch the day after we went and got the daiquiri, and I was looking at my phone, and I got a text message from JR, and the message read, "While you over there hanging with them bitches, I hope you know Paris' last baby is for me." So I instantly get mad. Like I got mad as fuck. I'm like, Paris, I will beat you the fuck up. If you knew JR, you could have just said that. Like when I told you all this yesterday, you could have at least mentioned the fact that y'all knew each other instead of not saying nothing at all. Like, bitch, you knew me before you knew me. That's what I told her. And mind you,
She went back and told him. Man.
she told Rachel, and Rachel, I guess Rachel mentioned it to JR. I don't know how. I don't know who mentioned it to him, but he found out. So um
Bunch of messy bitches.
keep in mind, the kids that's in the room, the boy that I was talking to, his brother was under the assumption that all those kids were his kids. So when I got mad, he didn't only get mad because you sitting in here on my couch with my brother, hype about another nigga, but now you telling me the baby not mine. So I flared so hard, man. I tried to make Paris fight me, and she would not fight me. So I was like, "Fuck that! Let me see your phone." Type the number in on the phone. You say you don't know JR, and JR don't know you. Type the number in on the phone. So she give me the phone. She typed the number in, and you just text this man, "Happy Thanksgiving" in November, but acting like you don't know him. So I was like, "Nah, fuck that. Go to
Wait,
y'all
wait,
Facebook
wait, wait.
messages."
So the guy you was talking to, brother,
Hmm.
thinks that her baby, Paris' baby, is
They at the
his.
time they supposedly had 3 kids together. 3. So when JR texts my phone, like I said, his exact words was, "While you hanging with them bitches, I hope you know Paris' last baby is for me," which would have made the smallest baby at the time JR baby. So like I told you, after I saw the toys in the living room way back then, I ended up meeting some of his kids. All JR kids' toes look the same. That last toe sit on top of that other toe. So I say, fuck that. Bring me big man. They go bring the baby. I say, hell yeah, this jail, baby. I'm looking at the toes. I don't know how I missed it. So the brother get mad. The brother trying to fight me. I'm every bitch. I'm every hoe under the sun. He's hype. But mind you, I'm 6 feet tall
What?
and I'm big. This man is every bit of 6 feet tall, 300, 400 pounds. So I'm telling him, I caught my daddy for you, but I'm not fighting you. He threatening to shoot me, X, Y, and Z, all this shit. So
He
I
threatened to
guess he
shoot
thought I
the
was
wrong
going to.
person. He needs to shoot Paris' ass. How? Wait. Okay. Did Paris ever get this situated?
I remember him leaving mad and going to his mama house, and they say the mama did an at-home blood test. I'm gonna tell you the truth. Ain't nothing in the world. That's JR son. Them toes told it all. All that man kids got them same toes. That's that man baby. That's just what it is.
Paris, we need a story time. Just tell.
After you made your video, after you made your video and put it on your YouTube, Paris called me and she said, uh she said, I ain't trying to come at you wrong, but she was like, we lived through this already, we got through it. She was like, Trey, which is the brother, she was like, Trey come calling me this morning, going off because this old shit is resurfacing. And she was like, we seen some man make a video from one of your story times. She was like, I ain't trying to tell you what to do, but she was like, you shouldn't be doing them old story times because we still gotta live this in our day-to-day lives. Well, you can't tell me how to share my experiences. So I told her that, or whatever the case may be. And that's when she opened up and she was like, well, me and Trey still trying to work things out. They got so much shit going on over there now. I don't think they're going to ever get to the bottom of that because Trey got another girl living in the house with them. Him and Pat, like, they just got too much shit going on. So I don't think they ever going to get to the bottom. But I
God
know for a
damn.
fact that's JR baby. The day she had the baby, that night, JR was like, and if you don't believe me, come look at this shit for yourself. Because he really begged me. He was like, stop fucking with dude. He was like, that's weird. He was like, them people had to know you before they knew you. And then he showed me the messages. The day that she had that baby, the first thing she did after she pushed the baby out her coochie was send that man a picture. So you either think it's his son or it's a strong possibility. But I look at them toes.
Trey,
All them
Trey,
kids got
Trey
them
need to
toes.
Trey need to cheat on Paris. He need to keep cheating on Paris
He
at this
I'm finna
point.
say, well, the way she explained it after seeing your video, she told me out her own mouth that they live in situation out her and Trey not together. Him and his new girlfriend live in the house, but him Paris still live in that same house too. So
Shit. Yeah, that rightfully so. Rightfully so. Cause you playing boy. Okay. That see you left that out the story. Exclusive.
I mean, see, I didn't know that when I made my story time. Remember, she didn't call me and tell me that until after you did the story time on your YouTube. I guess it didn't get back into Trey until people started talking about your video.
Damn. I didn't mean to be that famous.
She called me the day after. I don't know when you posted your video. I'm the day after I seen it is the day that she called me. And she basically asked me to call you and ask you to take your video down to keep less traction in their household. So I said, no, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna call him and tell him that I would rather interview me first.
Absolutely. And you know what? When I was doing your story time, people was like, you got my friend T6. He probably be in the comments. He was like, hey man, you need to get her to an interview. I said, I'm gonna try to do that. And then you hit me up. I was like, damn, that shit is crazy. Look at God. But yeah, whew, yeah. Again, I don't remember when I did yours. My friend, she sends me videos,
Mhm.
and when I like for a while, I was kind of like waiting because I got a full-time job too.
Mhm.
So then when I do videos, especially long ones, I gotta be alive and awake because I get up at like 4 in the morning to be at work.
Mhm.
So when I get home, so then I know I tried to get yours done as fast as possible. I was like, man, this is a good ass story. And I don't never watch stories before I watch them. I never watch them. I like heard of like the beginning of it, and when I heard about the security guard, I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be good. And it turned into a whole different story. And I was like, damn, this is something I ain't even imagined. That you got about 8 different stories in this one story.
Mhm.
We're gonna have to put a book together for you.
You know what's crazy? That you said that I've been writing a book since like a few days after I was able to open this eye. If we being honest, my book is finished. I just have to start editing and figuring out how to publish. But it's definitely finished.
Man, I need to find some editors because I get some good story times, but I'm gonna let you know, hands down, you got one of the best
Thank you.
story times. And then not only that is like the coming through everything and watching you and knowing that you was young, and I kind of like I give you so much sympathy from being young. Like if you was like 35 doing this, I'd be like, I wouldn't have no hope for you. But see it, young, you could grow through it and everything. And I commend you for even like, because your personality shine through it. You was like, I like to joke a lot, and you was literally like all your other videos is, you having a good time. You don't give a shit what nobody say. I be like, shit, I don't give a damn what nobody say. I look through comments too. Like once I go through, because I got to get thumbnails and all this stuff, so I go through people's videos, whatever. And I'm like, she don't give a damn what none of these people saying.
I mean,
Cause
you gotta
she
think
ain't.
about it. I don't know those people. I've known myself for 24 years now. You can judge me based off choices I make, but like I said, perspective is key to perseverance. You don't know me. You just walked in on a chapter of my life and made an assumption. But for me, I've been doing this day for day for 24 years. With every choice I made, I stand behind it with the knowledge I had at the time.
Yeah,
I was 19. I've done a lot of dumb shit.
yeah. Shit, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, well, there's one other thing I want to talk to you about because some people once I did your story, some people messaged me
Mm-hmm.
and they was like, yeah, that girl scammed me. That girl scammed me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, I don't know. And I never really, I never really looked into it because I really don't care. I don't care to bust scammers and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I see, I just had that girl's name in mind, Sherell.
Mm-hmm.
I see your video because I follow you, so I see your video like I don't know a Sherell, and I'm like, oh shit, what the fuck, Sherell the woke? So Sherell mentioned you. I don't know. I haven't even looked into it because honestly,
She
like,
did. She did.
I don't really
And
care.
the people that message you, we'll start with them first, and then I'll
Okay,
respond to her. But
okay.
after I first had the wreck, probably like 3 4 months after, when it was time for me to start receiving treatment or reconstruction for my face, I started a GoFundMe. Now
Uh,
with this GoFundMe, it did well. Honestly, it just honestly did well. So I was getting money from this GoFundMe to get my prosthetic because this is a prosthetic. So
oh
I had
Lord.
to
Okay.
literally get my prosthetic. And a few days before I got my prosthetic, I met this lady named V through social
How?
media.
So what? That you did that so normally. I got a weak stomach. You just can't be doing that, okay? You didn't even ask me first. Just be like, hey, I'm about to pass out over here. I'm about to look. I'm sweating. The sweat be like, Lord, have mercy. Okay,
But yeah,
thank you.
I got I started to GoFundMe and
Okay.
it was doing well. So a lady named B texted me because I was only a few $1,000s away from my goal. And she was like, "You really don't need your GoFundMe no more." She was like, "I could show you how to make the money." And I was interested. Not gonna lie, I was like, "How?" And she was like, "You can meet me in person." She was like, "Bring." She told me just bring her 250. I paid her 250. She gave me a prepaid Visa debit gift card, and on that gift card it was $7,000. Mind you, while all this was happening, I was on live on TikTok. So I was just crying and I was praying and I was having a moment. So I remember them being like, "Girl, you talking about we don't need to donate to the GoFundMe no more. Tell V to put us on the same way she putting your ass on." So what they did was a lot of my initial customers, they didn't shop with me. They shopped with V. They bought these cards, they shopped with these cards, everything was perfectly fine. Mind you, this was years ago, like 4 years ago to be exact.
Mhm.
So like a year into my TikTok followers buying stuff from V, she was basically like, "Look, anybody else would duck you." She like, "Them your followers, meaning you bringing the money in." She was like, "I've been doing it for a year." And she was like, "They've been shopping every day." She was like, "Anybody else would have just kept making the money and wouldn't have told you shit." She was like, "I'm gonna teach you how to do it yourself so you don't need me, so you make your own money." And she was like, "From there, you'll be good," which was true. So I started helping people get these same gift cards, and everything was good and copacetic. If you go, like, I know you said you follow me now, but in the event you was to comment on anything on my main page, after you comment on something on my main page, a bot page will inbox you. They'll have the same profile picture as me. Sometimes these bot pages don't have anything at all posted. Some of them do screen record stuff off my page and post it as well.
Yeah, I
But
be
they'll
seeing
text
those.
they text the people, they get the people money, and then the people will text me and threaten to blackmail me. If you don't give me one of them cards for nothing, basically, I'm gonna post about you. I swear to God, I've always been like this. I don't give a fuck. You gonna have to show me, like, do it. I don't care. I'm gonna call your bluff. Like, if I didn't do it, I didn't do it, and you're not gonna make me say I did. It is what it is. Sherell, I just feel like she's a bully. When she made her videos, she said her concern was that I was scamming the people, and that could have been a teachable moment. It could have been something different than what it was. If you go to her page, every video she made, she was talking about my injuries and the fact that I have one eye. I went through something that could happen to anybody, not just me. Nobody did nothing to me that caused me to lose my eye. Something happened. It was a difference. So I just stopped responding to her. She's older than me, like closer to my mama age than mine. I'm not gonna argue with a nice, nasty adult, one that's not happy within themselves because she has kids. Kids of her own. No adult in their right mind with kids will get on the internet and make fun of a disability, one in which I cannot control. So that was just what it was.
Yeah. I respect Sherelle. We got the same hairline, so she cool. I watch it because I started watching her from some other beef with a lady with a food truck or something like that. But and I did some commentary over that too. But I just thought I'd bring that up because people want to know. I don't know nothing about it.
Did you
So
say you like Sherelle because y'all got the same hairline?
yeah. I mean, she take out that wig, she you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know, but I'm just saying that was a little joke. But I like Sherelle, but I don't really get into like I don't get into the beefs because I see the beefs never get you nowhere. I
Don't say
don't.
that. We not beefing because I actually used to follow her, and she'll tell you that. I didn't block her until the other day. I'm never going back and forth with you for making fun of my injuries. It's just never gonna happen.
Uh,
But we're not beefing. Her content to me was good content up until then. It just took a turn for me then. I lost respect for her. We not beefing. She beefing with herself. I guess the views got low. And you know how it is when you're a content creator and this your only mean to provide. She got kids. I promise the views just got low.
yeah, yeah, because as it's a lot. I see a lot of problems with people like it's a girl popping on this or something like that. I did a video over, then turn around, they beefing. Then I started doing videos over the girl, something about something about some cheesecake or something like that. Anyway, she was messing with Corey SSG. I was doing a video over her and then turn around, they beefing. I'm like, golly, this girl beef with everybody. I was like, I just don't think beef. I mean, beef is only good sometimes. It gets your name out there, but to continuously do it in social media, I'm gonna tell you, it hurts your brand overall because
Longevity.
I did that like when I first started YouTube. I was like, it got my name, it got my fan base because they already knew they was like, I come with the smoke. I don't like I could joke, I could do all that. I'd have been doxxed 1,000 ways up and down. But I was just like, it's kind of pointless. And then don't nobody even care. Like y'all gonna forget about it next week. I don't even give a shit. Like I'm really about that life, and anybody want to be for me, like I'll slap you in real life. I don't need to. I don't need the internet to dog you, but I can though. And that's why. But it just don't look good for, especially when you argue with a person, or it be a woman or another guy, and then what could y'all say to each other? But pull up on me, and then two lives are lost because internet beef, like for real, it's like it's really pointless. But
But yeah, she posted my address. She did that. I don't know where she got out of posting my address, but she definitely did that. And I mean, it didn't really bother me because, like I said, I don't have anything to hide. Like, I'm only 24. I live by myself. It's just me and my dog. So
that's
when
wrong.
when they called the dog pound, I was baffled because I mean, if you watch my content, you know my dogs live a good life. Like
Yeah, yeah,
them
yeah,
motherfuckers
yeah.
is spoiled. So when the dog pound came, I was like, okay. And then they sent the
You got a nice
detectives.
house.
Thank you.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
sent the detective, and when the detective came out, you could tell he did not want to be here. Like, he was even vocal about the fact that he did not want to be here. But he was like, for whatever reason, he was like, a number of people have called, and they've called back to back. So he said it's his job to come out. He came out. He walked through the house. He even asked me if he could walk in my office. He asked me something about my computer. He looked at the computer, but he didn't even look at the computer. But I live here. I don't know why people would assume something illegal would be at my home. Like, it's not even logical.
That's just crazy. See, that's that dog. That's why I don't. That's why I don't like beef. It's like you gonna send people to my real life dwelling, but see, if I pull up on you in real life, you gonna be the first one to call the police. I don't like that type of stuff, man. And it be weird ass, random ass people too. It don't even be like somebody that's really gonna stand on business. Like they not finna do that to you. That's what I hate the most.
Yeah, we not like, I promise. Like I said, I'm 6 feet tall, 200 pounds light. So it's like, I don't, I'm not finna go back and forth with you on the internet. I'm not finna allow you to ruffle no feathers in my day to day life. I feel like I live a good life. Like, I've been through a lot, and God don't play about me. Like, He really favors me. So although I've been through a lot of traumatic situations, I don't find myself unhappy in my day to day life. I have a lot to live for. I'm not gonna get on the internet and make myself miserable going back and forth with people whom just have
Mm,
not found their happiness. That lady is twice my age. It could have been a teachable moment, but instead she tried to make it a laughable moment, and nobody's gonna agree with that. Nobody with kids anyway.
yeah, yeah. I know. Yeah, like I said, when I do see your videos, it's all about you is living your life. You're not sitting over there miserable. It don't seem like to me. That's why when I see that, I was like, Sherell. I kind of watched it, but like I said, I too much outside of me watching story times. I don't like watching negativity shit.
Right.
So I do my job and I get the hell up off of the internet.
I was gonna say she did say that she was trying to bring awareness because I was scamming, and so I made a video back to her, and I just asked her if you was trying to bring awareness to the fact that you feel like I'm scamming. Where did making fun of my injuries came up? Now
Yeah,
you had people in my comments telling me, "Oh, you could go back and forth with her because she don't have custody of her kids." Da, da, da. I'm never gonna laugh at somebody else's shortcomings because, like I said, in the blink of an eye, your situation could be mine. So I try to watch what I do and say because the tongue is powerful. So
yeah.
what you put out is what you get back.
Yeah, I heard a lot of stuff about it too, but I don't know. I don't get into it. Like I just be like, it's not even worth the
I would say it's not.
argument.
It's just not worth it. It's not worth my peace and my sanity. I know who I am and I know whose I am. So to think I'm finna get on the internet and combat lies is crazy. And I think people forget that because I had a very, very bad car accident and my parents decided to go ahead and file a lawsuit while I was still in the process of healing financially, I could have just turned my camera off,
Yeah,
honestly, and lived my life. But
I was gonna say what I was just to talk about for the people who where is it there? I got some accounts that be messaging me that just to go on the that you say people copy accounts
mhm.
and let me see if I can find one. Uh, yeah, it's probably these ones that's grayed out now because decided that they or somebody blocked them. Oh my God. See if I'm not looking for one, I could come across one all day long. Where is that one at? I think they TikTok might be deleting them, but I
Or if
know
you didn't
this.
respond back fast enough, they probably blocked you and it probably show up as user or something like that because that's what they do.
Yeah, and maybe let me check this other one. Where is it? This one say account not found. Oh, this girl, she must have blocked me. I don't know. I don't know. Wait, what? That's weird. Oh yeah. See, this one, I don't know. This one says Kelly OG or whatever, right? And it
Hmm.
got 1,000. And this is actually a person that's like a motivational person or something like that.
Hmm.
But this is one of those fake accounts of this person who's actually a person, but they stole every one of her videos.
That's what they
As you
do.
can see, those are all that lady's videos. And
Hmm.
so yeah, I don't respond back to those. Like I ain't even accepted it. Like it's still in
So
the
imagine her texting you and trying to sell you something and you buying it and then being mad at her because you didn't get it. Like that's
mm,
literally what's been going on. Like I'm not gonna lie and say, hey, I was never selling up prepaid Visa debits because I was and I probably still will. But don't say I scammed you if when you go back and look at the messages to where you sent your funds, you know you was dealing with a bot page. We all know on my main account I have followers and then I have a backup page and I go live from my backup page. I only have 2 pages. I've said that and I've been saying it for a year and some change. So I just feel like Sherell views was low. They was low
yeah,
and she
yeah,
needs
yeah.
them to be up. That was that.
Well, I hope that y'all well y'all ain't gotta be friends or nothing,
Probably
but
say we'll never be friends. We'll never
just
have anything to discuss. I mean, she's a nice, nasty adult in my opinion, and that's all that it'll be. I've blocked her on every account that I own, and it will remain as such. I'm done with it.
do you think that's all coming from like your newfound I want to be humble and say fame, like because you were just a few months ago you were just Tim Terrica. Now your big stories go blowing up and everything else is coming out, and now the people that you admire turn that you watched on TikTok turn out to be enemies. Like, did you ever
The
think
thing
that
about
would
me
like?
is I could take a liking to you, but to admire you is a totally different thing. Like I said, the lady don't even have custody of her kid. Her word is not credible. Like the state took custody of her kids. I don't admire her. I just found, for one, she looked like me, and I don't know why, but the heart that I have is like the little gift that just don't stop giving. I will give you grace and give you grace, even if I could clearly see you don't deserve it.
Yeah,
Because she looked like me, I have hope for her. I'm not gonna say she's not talented because she very well could be. But even when I was following her, all I knew about her was that she stayed in everybody else's business, almost as if she doesn't have any business of her own. We don't get a glimpse into her personal life or her day-to-day life. It's always somebody else's business. So it's not much to admire there because I'm a person that I don't really mind other people's business. I have to do what works for me. Um, but in this thing called life, you have to be prepared for literally whatever. So I don't really hold people to a higher standard anymore. Like I don't really trust people at all. The people that I did trust could not be trusted. So from that point on, it was like whatever you show me is what I'll go by.
mm, absolutely. What is it called? Perception is key.
Perspective is key to
Perspective
perseverance.
is key to perseverance. I love that. I caught that in your video a few times. I was like, yeah, sound pretty good there. You know what I'm saying? All right, everyday people. Let me show y'all. I want to go to. I want to share her. We gonna just the TikTok where you can find her on TikTok is IAmTimTerrica,
Oh,
aka
thank
Timmy
you.
T. Okay, and this is where you can find the story time, and you can find all other videos of all smiles, no frowns, and you can see her nice. This is how I knew your house was nice. Like, look at this. You got out like that right there, that couch. That's a big wraparound couch. All those mirrors, you gotta be balling. I was
Yeah.
like, she make about $1 million. Look at that big ass house.
No, I'm
Look
just
at
smart. Like I was young when I had the Rick, but my head has always really been on my shoulders. So once I did finalize my lawsuit, I decided to give myself a forever home. Like I paid cash for my house, so I just poured into it, and I can make sure the upkeep is done. Like it's a
look
big
at
girl
that kitchen.
purchase.
We're gonna one day we're gonna get a we need a cribs interview. Look at this that kitchen look, Bob. I was like, damn, my house look big. Look at that arch and that. Look at that arch. I ain't even got an arch. Shit, I'm in the ghetto compared to this.
Ooh,
Wait, yeah. So also, let me show you we're gonna go to your Instagram. I don't even know if I'm in the right one. Yeah, I'm in the right one. All right. You can also find on Instagram, same username, IAmTimTerrica _ Okay. She got a bathing suit on. Is that a bathing suit or just she trying to
that's
get
actually a
sexy?
dress.
Oh, okay. She got the leg out, trying to be all sexy. I see you. Don't let JR see this shit. He gonna be in your inbox.
Oh my lord.
But yeah, you can find more of her on Instagram. And it's all love and personality, man. That's all we gonna see. But yeah, shout out to you.
Thank
And
you so much.
I do. I definitely appreciate you coming to the channel and showing us some love and giving us the backstory and the in betweens, and and we friends for life. You know
Thank
what I'm
you.
saying? So you can always hit me up. We follow each other on social media. So uh, if I'm ever in Louisiana, which probably won't be, but because I did a few stories on Louisiana, the BOG Vonnie and Michael, and now DJ such and such. I can't remember his name. Woo! I'm afraid for people in Louisiana. Sheesh, I got that hive running
You know
rampant
they
out
don't
there.
claim us no way because I live in Shreveport. They always say we might as well be in Texas. If you ain't down south in Louisiana, they don't even claim you no
Oh
ways.
yeah, you up north? You up north? Okay. Yeah, yeah. Cause woo, I don't know what's going on down there, but yeah, I like it. But it ain't even down there. Hell, they just the way they was talking. They said
Everywhere.
Mississippi, Houston, all that. I'm like, woo, we stay
Everywhere.
off of I-10, stay off of I-10 wherever you. She said, I'm up by I-20. We ain't got to worry about it. Look at that. Okay. But yeah, y'all make sure y'all check out I am Tim Terrick on all social medias, man. Show your girl some love. And man, y'all we gonna keep it lit, man. Everyday people. Y'all make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Just hang on, Tim. I'm we gonna finish our conversation. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'm gonna holler at y'all later. Peace.
See you later.